Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to the Rabbit Hole Matrix. Right now, I wanted to read a little bit from a book that I've actually been working on, and I'm actually in the process of getting published. But there's a lot of things that I want to cover because this is going to take us from the very beginning to the very end, and that's what we need. We have to take a step-by-step journey. You can't dump a whole bucket on somebody and expect them to absorb it right then and there. It's not going to happen. So we're going to, piece by piece, I'm going to take you through this book and I'm going to discuss certain things as we go along. Try to inform you a little better about what it is that I'm actually talking about. So I'm going to start with the beginning. Have you ever wondered why you're here on Earth? Have you ever wondered who created it, for what purpose, and where you go when you die? All of these questions and more I will attempt to answer as we proceed through this book. However, before I begin, I would like to tell you a little bit about myself and the forces behind the curtain that are leading man towards a future in which mankind as we know it will cease to exist, as they are replaced by cybernetic beings that receive their thoughts, memories, emotions, from the cloud via Wi-Fi and 5G networks with 6, 7, and 8G soon to follow. I would first like to express that none of the thoughts or ideas in this book are new. In fact, many men and women throughout the ages have attempted as best they could to awaken a sleeping population that has been systematically programmed to dismiss anything that goes against the preconceived, programmed conceptions of reality. The only way to reach truth is by asking questions and following the clues, no matter how strange or ridiculous they may appear at first glance. There is only one truth. One truth, and it is that truth that we must seek our entire lives, or we will certainly be pulled down into the abyss from which there is no return. Life is a journey, a quest, if you will, to discover who we truly are beyond this thing called a body. The body, you see, is nothing more than a vehicle used to operate in and decode the world, which is a simulation around us. Most people make the mistake of believing that the mind is in the body when in truth the body is in the mind. I'm going to break this down for you a little bit as we go. I'm going to proceed from here because I'm going to come across that topic again where I start talking about the reality of the body, and we'll get there. But everything that we see, taste, touch, smell, and hear are nothing more than information or code being decoded by the brain, which operates similar to a processor in a computer. Throughout this book, we'll travel into the hazy past of mankind as we seek pieces to the puzzle. If you want to know where you're going, you first have to know where you've been, because history will always repeat itself if nothing interferes to change it. These are actually laws of reality. Like I said, the entire universe in which we live in can be likened to a simulation. Everything that you see is nothing more than vibrational frequency. It's a frequency of energy, and it's a wave that's constantly breathing and flowing, and our brains are decoding this thing. It's a vehicle. This is a vehicle used to operate in the simulation. The body is nothing more than an avatar. It's an avatar, just like the movie Avatar. When you've seen them, they didn't physically enter the avatar. They entered the avatar through the mind. You see what I'm saying? Everything is about the mind. If it weren't for the mind, the body wouldn't exist because there would be no mind to perceive it. So, let me see here. Think of it like a DVD or a Blu-ray disc left in the player and put on repeat. Think about life like that. As soon as the film ends, the movie starts over from the very beginning and will continue to do so until someone or something hits the stop button, power off, or pulls the plug. Unless something interferes to change the future, then history is always destined to repeat itself. It's a natural flow of reality. Now, the first two, when we talk about pressing the stop and the power off button, the first two are only temporary solutions. It is only the latter that we must do. We must pull the plug from the physical body. And that is when death occurs in the physical world, in the physical realm. That is when the spirit that dwells within is released into the universe, back to the energy source from which it sprang. Now, our entire reality is nothing more than a spiritual perfection. At one point in time, we were cast from an eternal realm of beauty and great glory into the abyss. And that's what they speak about in the Bible. And I would like to break down a lot of the things in the Bible as we go too. So, we must pull the plug and fling this sorry illusion machine out the window, because that illusion machine is our body. The true teachings of the sages all say the same thing, and that is that we must deny the body and its desire for five-sense reality by connecting to our higher selves, which is our mind, who are connected to the true creator of all that is, ever was, and ever will be. Religion is nothing more than a tool used to control people by instilling in them the fear of a wrathful and vengeful God. The true source of all things is neither wrathful nor vengeful. Those are low-density emotions belonging to entities that have imprisoned our mind. We have been imprisoned into this dimension. You have to understand that the spirit itself is like a light, and that light descended into darkness, which is the flesh. The flesh is the darkness in which the spirit dwells, and we must escape from this darkness, because darkness is parasitic and vampiric in nature. It thrives, and the only way that it can exist is by parasiting itself onto that light, because what lie in darkness but darkness? In the darkness there are no shapes, there is no nothing. It takes light to cast shadow. Think about this. In the darkness there is no shape and no form, because darkness is the state of non-existence. Darkness equals death. Darkness equals ignorance. Darkness equals all bad things. And we're not talking about the skin color of any people. I believe in all people and love all people equally. We're talking about forces that exist within the universe. Like I spoke in one of my clips before this, the polarity of good versus evil, light versus darkness, truth versus lies. So, negative emotions belong to spiritual vampires who feed off of these energies. The true source of all things is love, joy, compassion, mercy, and all things good. In order to connect to that source, we must first be tuned to the same frequency. We do this by becoming like that source and radiating that same energy. Energy itself is produced by certain emotions. Now, you have certain emotions that are high frequency emotions like love, joy, peace, harmony. They vibrate at a super high speed, but low density emotions are anger, hate, animosity, and just anything negative. The more negative you become, the more chance you have of being possessed by entities that lurk outside, and they're always looking for a way to enter. And when you radiate their energy, they enter you a little bit more, and they're squeezing in, and they're getting you real upset. And then they get you so crazy, just like sometimes you'll hear people say, man, I don't know how I did that. I can't believe I killed that person. I don't even know, I wasn't even thinking. That's because they were vibrating such an angry and angry, hostile, just vicious emotions that they were feeling, and that energy lowered their density just enough for these evil demonic spirits to enter. The source of all things would never demand to be worshipped. When worship is forced, it holds no meaning. It has no meaning if it doesn't come from the heart. If it doesn't come from the heart, then worship has no sentiment. It has no value. Any entity that does this is weak, jealous, and filled with the fear of being found to be a fraud. The source of all things being jealous of something is like my left arm being jealous of my right, because God is the source of all things. A jealous God is one who is insecure of themselves and unsure of their place in the universe. They're in constant fear of being dethroned and cast down from their high horse by someone or something greater than them. This is, in fact, darkness. There was a battle at one point in time. We can get into, even scientific theory where they talk about how the universe was created, and you had light matter and you have dark matter, antimatter and positive matter, which is the universe that we live in. According to scientific calculations, it was believed that after the Big Bang that they would have been created in equal amounts. But that wasn't the case for some reason. For some spontaneous reason, during that heated exchange of light and darkness, truth and lies, life and death, it exploded and light conquered darkness during that moment. Darkness is destined to be consumed by the light, not the other way around. Trust me, contrary to what the mind and the eyes see, I promise you, like a candle in the dark, one small light banishes a lot of darkness. I hope you guys like this video. I'm going to continue going through this book as we proceed. I hope you guys hit that like button down there. Subscribe to my channel and I'll continue to produce some excellent material for you guys.